I can understand why John McCain is doing this. He wants to sort of water down the sort of initial filibuster proposal. What's the rationale for Democratic Senator Carl Levin of Michigan to go along with that?
Well, it's kind of curious. I mean, the hypothesis that I have is that McCain and Levin are the ranking member and the chair of the Senate Armed Services Committee. And their big bill every year is the National Defense Authorization Act. And that bill is never filibustered. That is the one bill in Washington that always passes. It has passed every year since the Eisenhower administration. And so maybe they just don't see that it's a problem, because their big legislation every year sails through without much of a hitch. But that's not the case for almost all other forms of legislation that is out there. And so Levin, being sort of an institutionalist, maybe he thinks that when should Democrats ever get in the minority again, he wants these tools at his disposal. But it serves to increase Senate gridlock and doesn't really offer much chance for progress.
And Harry Reid, where is he moving on all these proposals?
Well, unfortunately, it looks like that Reid is moving towards sort of a middle ground where he would force debate to be continuous, but only after the motion to proceed. Now, this gets a little technical, but basically there are two chances to filibuster for the minority on any piece of legislation. There's a motion to proceed to start the debate on legislation, and then there's a motion to end debate on legislation, and both those motions are filibusterable. So what Reid is talking about then is allowing the filibuster on the motion to proceed, but after that, if that happens to pass, then we'd have sort of a talking filibuster. Well, that will just move the obstruction from the filibuster to end debate to the filibuster to begin debate, which is kind of where it is right now. I mean, Republicans have consistently forced cloture motions on the motion to proceed and filibustered that motion. That's what they did with the DREAM Act, for example, in 2010, and several other pieces of legislation. They just don't let Democrats start debate. And so I fail to see where Reid's reforms will really change from where we are today.
And I mean, for people who wanted to pressure their members of the Senate, is there anything folks can do? I mean, it's a complicated issue, but is there anything any pressure that can be brought to bear on Harry Reid or on Carl Levin or John? I mean, what can folks do out there?
Absolutely. You know, Credo and there's Daily Kos and a whole host of progressive organizations have put together petitions and calling tools. There's a sort of an umbrella group called Fix the Senate Now that has really pressured for some real action here, not something that's sort of cosmetic and a PR move that members of the Senate can say that they've worked to fix the filibuster, but they've actually fixed nothing. So I would urge you, look up, Google Fix the Senate Now, look up some of the tools that some of these progressive groups are doing, and get this in, because really Tuesday is the day that this is all probably going to be decided. So there's a short time window for action here.
David Dayen. David, great stuff as always. Been a fan of your work for a long time. You did some amazing work for Fire Dog Lake, and so great to have you on Take Action News. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. David
Dayen. Folks, coming up, and again, just a couple of days if you want to take action on those Senate rules, as David was pointing out. There's another issue that's out there that we're going to have an amazing discussion with about next, and that is there is a smart approach to marijuana. David Frum, conservative intellectual, is going to join us to talk about that. You're listening and watching the Take Action News.